Good morning. Welcome to First Local Mornings. We are now in the second week of January, 1 week of winter down, another one to begin.
How many more to go?
How many more to go? That is the real question. We'll get to a bit later with Craig, our weatherman. But before we do that, welcome to First Local Mornings for Monday, January the 11th. Brought to you by the Huron Catholic Superior District School Board. If you got a kitty that needs to go to kindergarten this coming fall, make sure to go to their website or go to our website and click through on the banner, and it will take you to the registration page. Also, if you have a kid, let's say you moved into this area or is moving here, make sure you also let the school board know as well, because they have to make sure that they have enough space in classrooms with enough teachers.
Well, yeah, and especially in today's guidelines, they're going to have a bit more space. Oh, yes. So today is interesting. On Friday, we had the announcement late in the day at around 2:30 p.m. that instead of going back to school, full-blown in-class learning, they have the option to learn from home still, continue on with that platform, I believe until the 21st of January for the Catholic School Board. I can't speak on behalf of the public just because the email came to me for my son's school at St. Basil's. So Monday, Tuesday, they are logging into their Google Classroom and downloading the homework and handing it in. As of Wednesday, the teachers will be teaching from the classroom to accommodate those at home and in class. So a big job for the teachers to have to get used to that.
So every classroom is going to have a class going on with in person as well as video.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know
that is a lot of video cameras.
I'm interested in knowing how many kids are actually, what the ratio is, you know, what's going on, how many kids are there. Because when I called on Friday morning to say that Dante would remain at home, they said, oh, you're not the first one, Colette, don't worry about it. And so enough to prompt a 2:30 p.m. media release to affect a Monday morning class. So that's a lot of work for the teachers. So good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck with that. What else is new? How's your weekend?
Packing.
Yeah, he says,
busy.
Just packing?
Just packing, basically.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it's a little grocery shopping as well.
I did that.
It was an exciting weekend.
Other than grocery shopping, I became one with Netflix.
Watch anything interesting? Have you watched Bridgerton?
No, yes, I have started that. It's really good.
I've seen the whole thing. Yeah, it's amazing.
It is, isn't it? I knew it would be good.
63 million households have streamed that across the globe.
Really?
That's like double the population of Canada has actually watched that series. It's one of the most popular series of all time now.
I do recommend
very short
Bridgerton.
It is a little weird when you first start watching it.
No, I enjoyed it.
I know. You're used to watching like
Weird to Chris is very weird to me. So we need to approach that one later in the show because we do need to hit some news right now.
Yeah, we do.
So Algoma Public Health has said.
But it's interesting watching like a different time period is what I mean.
I love that time period.
Because if you watch like a Hallmark Christmas movie, right?
I was going to ask you what you're doing with all these Hallmark.
It's like now, right? Like customs that are now. And then you go back then and there's different customs. Like you're Grace and you're this and you're that. And like I would have loved when was the last time you called someone your Grace?
I think I want you to start calling me. You can start that.
Okay, your Grace.
Thank you.
But I mean, like little things like that are totally different than how we do stuff now.
Lady Colette is about to. So Algoma Public Health says there are 7 new cases of COVID-19 as of yesterday at 5:30 p.m. They posted that one. 4 are from close contact. The other 3 unknown at the moment. 6 of them are from Sault Ste. Marie, 1 from the outside the area. And again, we still have 1 case that is in brackets on the APH site, which I will remind you is a positive case currently in the Algoma region, but not from the Algoma region. So we're still living on that one, and I think we're at 56 cases.
Yes.
So,
56
what
active cases.
Today?
How many tests? Probably like what? Close to 75,000 tests now?
74,994. So very close. That was very good guesstimates, Christopher.
Wow.
Your Grace.
I might have highlighted that right before the show as well.
What else do you have, Lord Christopher?
Not that good. Lord Christopher, Your Grace. Wendy Hansen, the president and CEO of the hospital, was one of many, we'll call them public officials, who traveled during the holidays.
Yes.
Now, she wasn't with Rod Phillips vacationing down the Caribbean. She decided to go to British Columbia.
Okay. Still a very beautiful place.
Yes, very beautiful place. It's just it's not the Caribbean.
No.
I'm just saying she wasn't with Phillips, that's all.
Okay.
Move along.
Thanks for that clarification.
I just wanted to clarify that in case there was any confusion. Okay, yeah. Great. Okay, anyways, moving along. She went to visit her family in British Columbia and to go to some prearranged medical appointments, with whom she had long-standing relationships. Not sure exactly what that means. The board is supportive of her travel arrangements and for being separated from family and for medical reasons. She followed public health guidelines, mitigated risks by isolating with her immediate household, and follows post-travel self-isolation.
Mm-hmm. Sounds okay so far, but I sense in your energy you're not.
Well, I just find it so weird that like we're told not to visit family in the same town. Like, oh, I have family in this town, and then I also I don't. But let's say.
Yeah. No, I get where you're going with this. I get it.
And even in the same town.
She's a bigwig. She is the CEO of a
I'll go with public health. Literally said, don't go visit your family, even if they live in Sault Ste. Marie as well.
Yeah, just stick with
the holidays.
Your immediate.
Yeah, her immediate family's in British Columbia. And how did she get there? Oh, on airplanes. So many people are getting COVID off of airplanes that the federal government on December 22nd started a public database that you can go look at and see if you were on a flight that had COVID-19 on it.
That's how many, because they can't keep up with releasing them per flight?
In the first 6 days of that database that the government's running for airplanes, guess how many domestic flights had COVID-19 on them?
I don't know. I'm not good at guesstimating as you are.
Almost 100. Guess how many international flights?
I wasn't going to guess 100. 200.
60.
Oh.
There's less international flights coming in.
Right, okay.
So in the first week they did that database, 160 flights had people with COVID-19 on.
Wow, that's crazy. Plus we had one here in the Sioux that we do have the numbers, the flight number on our website too.
Yep.
But so okay, thanks Chris. There was an apartment fire on Willow Avenue Saturday morning. It was at the 100 block of Willow Ave. It had all firefighters on scene at around 9:30 that morning. Upon the arrival of the firefighters, they discovered smoke was visible and coming from a lower level door. Fire services were seen ventilating the building after the fire was extinguished, and approximately 20 people were seemed to have been evacuated from the building. So Dan Gray, our reporter, was there. Of course, he took amazing photos, and you can find all of those on SiouxOnline.com. As well, we will be receiving an update on this story, and we will be bringing you that as soon as we receive it.
Yes.
Moving on.
Alrighty, over on the American side, Chippewa County added 53 new COVID cases. Now, this was from, they only give up their stats twice a week. So these are the stats from January the 6th through to January the 8th. So there's 53 new cases. However, good news is they had 65 new recoveries.
I was going to say they're getting better.
Their case count is going down again. It's down to 162. And obviously they remind you to wear a face mask, social distance, and so on.
Awesome. So a lot of us are affected by autism in our lives, and the numbers are astounding as to how many children are on the spectrum of autism.
Yes.
And as such, the Ontario government announced yesterday that $7.5 million will be provided to better support children with autism spectrum disorder, because the spectrum is so wide and so sparse. The funding will be used to deliver online courses and training opportunities for teachers and educational assistants in all 72 of Ontario's district school boards. The training program will be delivered by Geneva Centre for Autism. And again, this was an announcement made yesterday by the Minister of Education, Stephen Lecce. The training provided through the Geneva Centre for Autism will increase the understanding of the spectrum disorder and applied behavioral analysis methods and approaches. And that is set to begin in 2021. So
I actually worked with someone who was autistic for a whole year, and I didn't even know until they told me, because the spectrum is so wide.
It is
fully functioning, and had they never mentioned, I never would have known. And then you get very severe cases as well.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that it's just like
absolutely. But there's so many people affected by autism, and it's like you said, the spectrum is so wide and sparse. But they need help. It's an expensive. The government has been helping out more and more. So thankful to that. But it's great that they're starting to educate the educators.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Putting money to use. Government, way to go.
Yeah. Okay. COVID-19 across the country, there's been wide disparities in what happens in different regions. We've seen, for example, earlier in the pandemic, the Atlantic region closed off, and then specific provinces said no one's allowed in or out. For example, you can go to Prince Edward Island. They didn't allow anybody in. One of the reasons they had a low case count was they didn't have anybody in there with COVID, and then they didn't let anybody else in, so how could they get COVID?
Yeah.
And this has been, we've seen this, and we've seen different examples of this too. We had basketball team traveled from Manitoba when Manitoba was in a lockdown to here when we weren't in a lockdown yet.
Yeah, that was
to play a basketball tournament.
But they came after the lockdown was in place, correct?
Correct. They came when there was a lockdown in their own province and came here. So there's been a wide disparity in terms of what's been going on in different provinces. There is a greater disparity showing up now. Yesterday we set a daily case count record here in Ontario of 3,945 new cases. And Quebec had 2,588 cases.
Whoa. They had that in one day, Quebec?
2,588
And this is them who have applied 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.
curfew, yes.
Curfew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not sure how well that's working. But then you go right next door to Nova Scotia, and they didn't even have a single new case yesterday.
Way to go, Nova Scotia.
So you can see the difference just in that small little geographic region. We're going from one to the other. The difference between 2,588 in Quebec to 0 in Nova Scotia. And then you also have Newfoundland and Labrador.
It's Newfoundland. I've already corrected you on this before.
Labrador, they saw their first case just the other day again. So you're seeing really lopsided numbers depending on what province you're in. For example, Saskatchewan yesterday had the first day with no new deaths for the first time in a week, but they had 307 new infections. But Dr. Theresa Tam has been saying we are still seeing a continuing resurgence, even though there are certain areas where there's almost no new cases. And Quebec's curfew is the most drastic step that any province has taken so far. It's going to be interesting to see how enforceable that actually is, because if that goes into the court system, it will actually get thrown out. The only time the government can actually put a curfew in is if we're having bombs dropped on us. That was something put in after World War II because there's bombs being dropped on London over in England, and we decided to put something in similar here. There's not bombs being dropped out of the sky. I'm not sure how they're going to figure out this curfew thing here in Ontario.
Not too sure either,
they're going to have to go back into that Emergencies Act again,
but we'll find
where
out
they have
that.
Extra powers to do things. I don't know if they have the extra power in Ontario to do that.
They do have a cabinet cabinet meeting today to discuss that, and we'll be hearing more tomorrow. But how about the bombs dropping out of the weather sky? Maybe we should throw over to Craig to find out what is going on for the next few days.
I'm here.
Craig's here.
There's our man. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Do you have a good weekend?
Absolutely.
I was walking my dog last night and thinking to myself, isn't it great that I could be in running shoes and bare pavement?
Well, you know me, Craig. I wear my high heels. It doesn't matter. Snow. I'm like the mailman. Come snow, come sleet. I don't care. Those high heels are coming on.
Let's take a look outside and we'll show you what's going on. It's a pretty nice day out there. It's going to be pretty nice for the next 3 days, actually, exactly like last week. It's this weekend that's a little trouble, and I'll give you those details coming up.
The COVID-19 pandemic in Canada is serious. We must continue to practice all public health measures. Follow local guidelines for gatherings, maintain physical distancing, wash your hands, wear a mask, and download the COVID Alert app. If you have symptoms, even mild ones, stay home. Protect yourself and others. We've come too far to stop now.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Traveling in Canada is unmatched.
It's such a lovely, safe energy that you don't necessarily get in other places in the world.
Yeah, Karine, c'est ça chez nous. Aïe, 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 aïe.
You can get a taste, a feel, a sound for the rest of the world within our borders.
You can see the Northern Lights on TV or in pictures, but it just doesn't do it justice.
There's nothing like Canada in the winter.
Huntington's disease is a hereditary degenerative disease of the brain.
It affects your behaviors, your mind.
And it's a relentless disease.
If you took Alzheimer's, if you took schizophrenia, if you took Parkinson's and you mix them all together, you would have Huntington's disease.
Huntington's disease is devastating.
I just hope that I'm the last.
Hi, Mike Holmes here with some advice that could save your life. I'm talking about radon. It's the #2 cause of lung cancer in Canada. Radon is radioactive gas that comes from the ground. You can't see or smell it, but almost every home has it. The question is, how much? Protect your family. Get your home tested. It's easy. And if you have high levels, a certified radon professional can reduce it for a reasonable cost. Make it right. Find out more at takeactiononradon.ca.
Welcome back to First Local for Monday, January the 11th with Chris and Colette. Thank you to our sponsors, Casey Security, as well as the Huron District Catholic School Board. Okay, so what's going on in the world of social media?
A lot.
A lot.
We have a ton of Facebook shout-outs this morning.
Tell me, Lord.
Yes, Your Grace. And actually, we will get to that. That's one of the comments. Good morning from Evelyn, Nicole, Vanya, Dan, Kathy, Daniel, Destiny. Nicole says, am I the only one who hasn't watched Bridgerton? Not quite. There's 7 billion people on the planet, 63 million
You have to watch it, though.
So, Robert also hasn't seen it yet.
You too, Robert.
Good morning to Eve. Margaret. What do we got else here? Jen. She's talking about the decision about Wendy Hansen, the hospital CEO, visiting her family in British Columbia. She says, what a tone-deaf decision. We were not supposed to visit people, long-standing relationships, aka hanging out with doctors' friends. Anthony says she should resign. I think that could be a possibility, maybe. I'm not sure. The hospital says they've commented on it and they're not going to say anything else.
And they're not saying anything else, that's right.
We'll see what happens there. Also, you can send in your weather pics to ontvweather@gmail.com, and because we started posting them again now. We had the holiday pics before Christmas going on.
Yeah, you took over that.
Yes, because I had so many stuff coming in. Vania says, New Brunswick borders Quebec, not Nova Scotia. I responded, yes, I was talking about the whole Atlantic region, though, not just Nova Scotia. But I did pay attention to geography class, sort of. Sort of. I mean, I'm not 100% certain I could get all 10 right, but maybe. I'm just kidding. Ineki as well, good morning to you. Good morning to Marilyn. And also
wow, we got a lot today.
From Steve as
good
well.
Morning, everybody.
So wow. Okay, we don't have time for weather now?
Well, hang on. Yes, we do. But wait, before we go to Craig, I forgot to mention, you remember my PSA on YouTube, subscribe, blah, 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 blah,
yes,
blah?
Yeah.
Okay, so over the weekend, we did hit 1,000, but now we've seemed to have dropped 3. So,
was it those 3 fake accounts of yours that got
my son,
YouTube found?
My little guy's like, I have a couple of YouTube accounts. I'm like, okay, that's cheating, but he did subscribe.
Thanks, Dante. We appreciate it.
I just want to remind you to go to youtube.com/SueOnline on TV and subscribe, please. Now, I guess we should throw to the weather, eh?
Yeah.
Let's see what Craig's got.
What do we got going on, Craig?
Thanks very much, guys. Well, we have a pretty nice week shaping up, at least for most of it. We're going to stay mild with very little snow in the forecast for today. Mainly cloudy skies, temperatures hovering around the freezing mark at -1, and it's going to be calm. There's going to be a slight wind, so it's going to add a little bit to the wind chill, but really nothing to complain about. We'll take a look at the overnight lows. Hey, these overnight lows should be our daytime highs. -4 here in the Sault, -5 in Elliott Lake, -5 in Sudbury, -2 in Wawa. That's a warm spot. Let's take a look at the satellite. Really not a lot going on. We still have high pressure. We have this little bit of a cloud deck moving in. It's not really going to give us any sort of precipitation right now. We have high pressure sitting in the middle of the U.S. that's protecting us. But that's going to change. I'll tell you about that at 5 o'clock. But let's take a look at the 3-day forecast starting with tomorrow. +2 for a daytime high, mix of sun and cloud. Mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday at +1 and only dropping down to 0. +1 for Thursday. We could start seeing some snow, and Thursday we could start seeing some dramatic change in our weather. And I'll tell you more about that at 5 o'clock, but you may want to have your shovels ready for next week. That's your weather for right now. More show coming up right after this.
COVID-19 is a serious health threat. When you touch things like gas pumps, door handles, or someone else's cell phone, you can spread the virus, even if you don't have symptoms. Don't put lives at risk. Wash your hands. Stay 2 meters apart. That's a distance of 2 arms lengths. And if you're sick, stay home to save lives. A message from the Government of Canada.
And welcome back to First Local Mornings for Monday, January the 11th. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you to Casey Security for your sponsorship, as well as the Huron Catholic Superior District School Board. Make sure you go and register your kid for kindergarten this coming fall. Also to the Algoma Marketplace, head over there. You can order food and other things from local merchants, so make sure you check that as well. And that's Algoma Marketplace. Awesome. What do we got going on in sports?
We had an NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. If you weren't familiar with that, it was a Super Wild Card Weekend. So we've got some scores posted here.
Don't even know what that means.
It's playoff time, buddy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, that helps.
All right. There's a little thing called the Super Bowl, which we used to follow on my birthday at the end of January. They put that back. Usually it's the first or second week of February. Obviously, that's changing again. The 27-24 win for Buffalo Bills over the Colts, which is great. I've always been a Bills fan. I don't know if you ever watched the Bills back in the day, but my brother was a Giants fan. My dad and I were Bills fans, and when they meet,
one of my good friends from high school is a Bills fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, Tampa Bay beat Washington 31-23.
So Brady is making it through the playoffs.
I know. Okay, yes. So I almost fainted in the newsroom this morning when Chris said, "Did you hear? Did you hear that Brady's bringing Tampa Bay into this?" I'm like,
and it's the first time they've made it to the playoffs in a while.
Is this like Twilight Zone? Win.
Yeah. Somehow it showed up on my Instagram feed. Don't know how that happened.
It's because he's following the supermodel. That's the only reason why he knows that.
So that stuff comes up.
That's it. Baltimore beat Tennessee 2013. Chicago lost to the Saints 21-9. They took a kicking, let's just say. And 48-47, the Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns and the Bears. So the Bears. That's other than that, for sports this morning, we kind of just wanted to highlight the Super Wildcard Weekend. But Lynn in the newsroom, hello Lynn, she gave me an awesome little story to talk about, and it's about the Raptors super fan. He collects a lot of Toronto Raptors gear, whatever, hats, stuff like that. That's worth quite a bit of money. But what he's doing is he gives it away, and he gives it to those who are in need. And he does a great thing, and I just wanted to recognize him for doing that. And I apologize, I'm trying to scroll for his name here, and it's Nav Bhatia who does that. So he's trending. Follow him, like him, and support people like that who do awesome things. Coming up after the commercial break, we were going to have some more news. We're going to have some more banters from the Lord and from the lady.
Your grace.
Your Lord. And I wanted to talk about the new face that will be coming up on the $5 bill. And the majority of them are Indigenous people from Canada, obviously, and I'm very happy about that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that after this commercial break.
Sounds good.
Come right back,
See you in a minute.
Please.
There's something in this picture you're not seeing. It's called radon, and it's a naturally occurring gas. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it, but it's the leading cause of lung cancer after smoking. Radon can leak into your home undetected through cracks or gaps in the ground floor. Make sure you're safe from the risk of radon exposure. With a simple test, radon leaks can be detected. Visit lung.ca to learn more about how to protect your home from radon gas.
It's been a while since I've seen Joe. We were a couple of pranksters, and Joe was always full of surprises. But today, he's the one in for a surprise.
The thing is, Joe doesn't live here anymore. For people living with dementia, getting lost can happen unexpectedly. Are you ready to help? Help people living with dementia live safely in our communities. Contact your local Alzheimer's Society and visit findingyourwayontario.ca.
COVID-19 is a serious health threat. When you touch things like gas pumps, door handles, or someone else's cell phone, you can spread the virus, even if you don't have symptoms. Don't put lives at risk. Wash your hands. Stay 2 meters apart. That's a distance of 2 arms lengths. And if you're sick, stay home to save lives. A message from the Government of Canada.
And welcome back.
I didn't know if you were doing it or I were doing it.
Well, I was taking a quick peek to see if Ford had announced if he's going to
why is it quiet? Why is it quiet?
Today.
Did I say I was going to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ford. So far, we got nothing from Ford as an announcement today, and then also Trudeau is at some summit today, so there won't be
summit.
Yes.
Sure he is.
It's well, actually, you can watch it online.
Oh.
Yeah. So
what do I know?
But it's some open summit on something.
Sounds interesting.
I looked at it earlier and it was like, okay, wow, that's a good thing to be doing in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic.
If this policy geek doesn't find it interesting, it must be drier than dry.
Oh yeah. And then I just checked there. Nothing from Ford today either. So no press conference from Ford or Trudeau today so far. Yeah. But he is speaking with the cabinet today about the ICU situation across the province.
I think we'll hear from him tomorrow.
So we'll probably hear for sure from Ford tomorrow. If not, maybe even later today. But they might announce something.
They've been doing those last minute Larrys a few times.
Had a couple ones a little later in the day, 4:30 at night now too. So see what happens there.
Okay.
But we also have some weather.
I know. Is it 7-day, 3-day, 25-day, 21-day,
41-day?
7 days.
7 day. Okay.
I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna use a Post-it note.
Not a bad week actually. It's going to be mild and hardly any snow. It's the weekend coming up. We have to.
There's the bomb.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. So you can see temperatures fairly mild for the week.
You weren't kidding.
We do see snow starting to come, and it's the colds and the snow that's going to really change things around here starting next weekend and all of next week.
Well, geez.
There you go.
Aren't you full of good news?
Nice. It's great weather until I move.
Yes, exactly.
Too bad, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, so who could be the face of Canada's next $5 bill? Now, before you start throwing out names, and no, it's not going to be Drake, and no, it's not going to be Wayne Gretzky. Why? Ask me why, Christopher.
Why?
Because other than being remarkable in some way and Canadian, they have to be dead for at least 25 years. So that's this is what the candidate must be. Canadian, remarkable in some way. So far,
we're not dead.
I'm just wondering about this.
Have demonstrated outstanding leadership.
Why do they have to be dead for 25 years?
Have benefited Canadians. I don't know. I'm just reading out this.
I'm just asking.
Has to be real, not fictional. And like I said, dead for 25 years.
Has to be real, not fictional. Yes. Wow, good. We're not nominating fictional characters for our dollar bills. Good to know. Great standard there, Canadian government.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, Winnie the Pooh's out of the running now.
Oh, damn it. He was in the running. He was my number one choice.
He so deserved it.
Okay, be quiet. Pitsio Lak Ashun is one of Ashuna. I apologize. Now I'm going to be putting an article out on this, so we will be able to go to Sue Online and get this information. But like I said, there are several Indigenous. I can't believe this one, Francis Pegamagabo, who was the most decorated soldier from the First World War. And I had no idea until I read that. Yes, absolutely.
That would actually look good on a bill.
And yes, it would. This would be beautiful, don't you think? Anyways, we're going to have more of that posted on SueOnline.com today. Do you have anything to say goodbye about?
Yeah. Have a fantastic day.
Have a great day, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Enjoy your day.